Hello everyone, it's Ben from the Chat to give you a review today. It is of the first 4 episodes of the wonderful, the great Clarkson's Farm Season 3, Series 3. Clarkson's back with Caleb, Cooper, and they are doing Clarkson's Farm Series 3. We start with an episode called Unfarming, that basically Jeremy and Caleb have a bet that because everything's kind of failing, basically what's happened is the bastards at the council basically say you have to close down the shop, the restaurant, sorry, and they basically have to get rid of all the cows, including Pepper, which people have moaned at. And basically Jeremy says, "I know, but there's loads of the farm that I don't use." So he does things like unfarm, which is like berries and things, and it's funny, very funny. um, oh god, memories. I don't know what the council are playing at. It really is annoying. It's just, mm. Even though Jeremy is, a star, got millions of pounds, probably wasted millions with this farm. Even though, thank God, Amazon Prime probably pay for 90% of it. Pay for the mess ups because even though it's lost some whining farming, Jeremy actually really cares about this. So, it's great. Basically they have a bet. Jeremy and Caleb have a bet, basically saying that Jeremy makes Caleb farm manager. Farm manager, from it's like when he comes in farm manager, it just reminds me of the green grass. Hello, I'm farm manager, Elgin Spowerhorger, yes. That's yeah, from the green grass from Boise Mining's green grass from Falls North. Like this is reminding me of that slightly. And they basically have a bet where they say, well, you be farm manager and you farm the farm bit, and I'll farm the unfarmed. And then Caleb doesn't know what to think about that. And we move on. The second episode is called Porking. Jeremy decides to buy some pigs and then put them in the unfarmed woodland. But unfortunately, that doesn't quite go to plan. First, he has to nick one of Caleb's fields. And also Jeremy is also trying to also nick another one of Caleb's fields to try kind of this mixed farming where instead of you putting one thing in a field because it messes up with some sort of soil thing, it messes up with like the regeneration of the soil. And an old band person who's famous that I can't remember his name of, basically starting this farm where they kind of put two things in the same field that kind of run off each other, so they both get nutrients, and you don't turn over the soil, you just drill straight into the ground. But because there's two things growing in the same field, they both kind of nurture off each other, and apparently you get a better yield of crop. Caleb thinks this is total bollocks, and is like rolling his eyes because he's never done that before. But Jeremy is literally trying everything to make the farm a success. That's episode 2. Also, Caleb and Jeremy are starting to bicker like hell because Caleb gets stuck in a truck in a tractor because he's stuck in a tree, and Jeremy has to get him out with a chainsaw to cut the tree down, and Caleb and all stuff ensues. Jeremy buys this giant clearing machine that goes as well as you would expect. So that's episode 2. That's called Jobbing. Episode 3, that's episode 2. So episode 3 is where they buy the pigs. Episode 3 is where they raise the pigs. That's called Jobbing. And episode 3 is called Harrowing. Harrowing is, well, harrowing basically. if you don't like kind of what happens in the real farm when things go wrong, don't watch this episode. Some really awful things happens. Um, I just feel, you know, you can see how much Jeremy cares in this episode. They literally try everything to help the animals here. Um, and it also shows last year's bloody weather. It constantly rained last March, didn't it? And this March too. So, it'll be raining season part 2 next year when we get what they're filming now for season 4, because it's rained as well this March as well. And they show that, they just couldn't farm last March in 2023, because this seems to go from August 22, summer of 22, to March 2023. So it's kind of 6 months. So 4 episodes of 6 months, and then obviously the next part, 2 episodes, 5 to 8 are probably from what, March through September, probably to the end of the season. And I you can just see how bad the weather is, and they can't farm. And I just think how awful it must be. And the council are messing about with, can they have the restaurant? Can they can they have a bloody toilet? They're trying to fight this in this episode as well. Can they keep the farm shop open? Can they have a car park? And you can just see the frustration in Jeremy's face that he's trying his hardest to run this farm, and the bureaucrats and councils are taking the complete piss. But there are funny moments in this 4 episodes. It's harrowing moments. It's just real life. And may I mention, poor old Gerald. I hope he's okay now. At the end of episode 1, they have a awful message about Gerald right at the end of the episode, where the episode just ends after Jeremy's in a tractor talking about Gerald. And I hope he's okay now. And stuff. I hope everyone's okay and he's getting all the treatment he needed, because obviously this is a year later. So, yeah, that's been episode 1 to 4 of Clarkson's Farm, Series 3, Season 3. I've really enjoyed it so far. I've laughed, I've cried, I've wanted to punch Charlie Island in the face, but that's his job, to tell you about all the rules. He must be really boring, but he seems to be a lovable chap, but just someone he just loves to be annoyed by. It's not his fault. Somebody's got to do the job, and still. And yeah, Caleb seems to be, I don't know. He seems more frustrating in this series. Like he's a bit pissed off, and like he's almost hammering up to the cameras because he's got used to it. A bit like Carl Pilkington slightly, but not as much. But yeah, other than that, I've liked this series. So if you want to see the rest of this review when I've watched episodes 5 to 8, please subscribe to the channel and like, and see you on the next video. Bye.